So good morning, everyone. Yeah. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's SMS. So I think I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So thank you, and I think it's really fortunate to see that many of the members or the group members they're coming up to volunteer to sharing their wisdom, their knowledge. Because one good thing about our group is we are all faculty members. So somewhere or the other we are distributing and sharing our knowledge across India. So we are also lucky to have members across India who have shared their interest to kind of share their knowledge on the SMS. Today we have with us CA Piyush Bansal ji. So may I request C. Arpit Haldia ji to kindly introduce our speaker for the day today. Arpit ji, over to you.
Thank you, Arupji. And as Arupji said that today we have Piyush Bansalji, who is a faculty from ICI on the GST, and he would be taking section 26, 27, 28 regarding the casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, and deemed registration. And as we have already experienced that whenever a faculty from our group takes the subject, that subject is deep down inside and we get new insights on the topic. So looking forward to today's session from Piyush Bansalji, handing over the session to Piyush ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arpitji. Thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to this GST faculty group because chartered accountant like me from a small city like Fagwada with a population of just 80,000 to 1 lakh, we don't have much cases of grandeur, a big grandeur. So this GST faculty group is basic for our knowledge updation, and I am very thankful to this group faculty members. And also thanks to for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this 26, 27, and 28. Uh, I'm just trying to share my presentation. Just see if it is visible.
Yes, it is visible now.
It's
Yeah. Piyush ji, you're on mute actually.
okay.
Yeah.
Topic for the day is Section 26 deemed registration, casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, and amendment of registration. We are on registration part. Let's start with deemed registration. Let's discuss the section in brief first, and then we will go on to case studies. I'm just having few case studies for each section so that we can have detailed knowledge about that. Subsection 1, deemed registration, subsection 1. This section is just basically about that if we have applied registration in a state, registration for state GST, then it will be applicable equally to central GST. There is nothing different. The grant of registration or the unique identity number under the state GST or the union territory GST shall be deemed to be grant of registration or unique identity number subject to condition that application has not been rejected within that time. So if we have applied for state GST, that would be equally applicable to central GST, and we will be getting a single number. We need not to apply for different registration for state and GST. That's the basic idea of this section. Let's take an illustration for clarity. Sir, ABC Textile Limited has operation in Rajasthan and Gujarat. They applied for GST registration in Rajasthan on 10th March 25. Rajasthan GST Authority approves the application on 15th March 25. Now, scenario. ABC Textile Private Limited wonders, do they also need to file separately under CGST Act for Rajasthan? The answer is clearly no, because we have got this registration from this Gujarat. For Rajasthan GST registration, we have got from state, that is equally applicable to center also. So they need not to apply any separate registration for CGST. We have just one single form there we apply for the registration. And we all know that while applying registration, we choose the jurisdictional office for state as well as center. And by default, we are allocated to anyone. And then they wonder, do they have to apply for GST registration for Gujarat separately? That for sure, because we have state-wise registration. For different states, we have to apply different registrations. Deemed registration applies state-wise. Separate registration is needed in each state where business is conducted, and only one form is enough for both CGST and SGST. I'm not taking much time and I'm not deliberating much on this topic. Deemed registration subsection 2. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 10 of section 25, any rejection of application under state will be equally applicable to center and vice versa. Again, case illustration we are taking for ABC Textile again. They are having business in 3 states, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Karnataka. They applied GST registration simultaneously in all the 3 states, uploaded necessary documents, address proof, bank proof, passbook statement, PAN, Aadhaar. State-specific scrutiny, because we have applied for 3 registrations, so there would be 3 different matters to be dealt by all the states authorities. In Maharashtra, CGST authority noticed that the address proof uploaded is invalid. So for Maharashtra, when we applied for registration, it went to CGST, Central Department, and they noticed that the address proof uploaded was invalid. Gujarat SGST authority found that the documents are proper and verified the place of business. They have verified the place of business also. And Karnataka SGST authority found that bank proof was missing. So 3 different states have 3 different dealings. They have 3 different observations from all the authorities. Now, what would be the outcome? Maharashtra issued show cause notice, replied inadequately, application rejected. Gujarat, no discrepancy, application approved. Karnataka, no response to show cause notice, application rejected. Sir, in this case, 26.2, effect of 26.2, since the state center GST application in Maharashtra and Karnataka are rejected, so the center oblique state registration of these 2 states is also deemed to be rejected. So we don't have any registration in Maharashtra and Karnataka, but since Gujarat, the registration was approved, CGST registration also considered approved. So all the registrations of the state are for Gujarat are okay, and we are registered under Gujarat for CGST and SGST, but no registration for Maharashtra or Karnataka. Any issue on this section 26? Otherwise, I will move to 27, sir. Nothing?
I think we can move ahead. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now we are on to section 27, special provisions related to casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. Let's have a brief reading of the law first. The certificate of registration issued to a casual taxable person on a non-resident taxable person shall be valid for the period specified in application fee or 90 days from the effective date of registration, whichever is earlier. And such person shall make taxable supply only after issuance of certificate of registration. We all know that casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person are getting registration for 90 days. They have to make advance application at least 5 days in advance, and they have to make tax payment in advance. At the time of submission of application, they have to ascertain their tax liability and make the payment in advance, and then they have to file their returns after the period. And if any extension is sought, that is applicable for another 90 days. The amount will be credited to an electronic cash ledger, and when will be filing their returns, they will claim this amount and adjust it and utilize it. Venugopal ji, sir.
Sir, section 40 cannot be made applicable to a casual taxable person.
Sir, I will come to section 40. Let's cover the case study first, and then I come to section 40, sir.
Yeah, because here it says the supplies to be made only after issuance of certificate of registration.
Pardon? Yes,
Uh,
it is mentioned that, sir, supply can be made only after registration, and they cannot make any supply before grant of registration because they are specific cases. They are specific case persons, casual taxable person, for a limited period. Let's go to definition of casual, and then we will discuss that, sir.
Okay.
Casual taxable person, I have highlighted a few points there. Means person who occasionally undertakes transaction involving supply of goods or services, or both in the course or furtherance of business, whether as principal or agent or in any other capacity, in a state or union territory where he has no fixed place of business. Now, casual taxable person is a person. Person and not taxable person or registered person. There is nothing like taxable person or registered person in this definition. Occasionally and not regularly, carrying on business. Two states are required. One his home state, and he is having business, trying occasional business in another state. No fixed place of business in other state. And circular number 71/45 2018 said that deposit must be made of estimated net tax liability after reducing estimate of available input tax credit. This is the definition of casual taxable person, sir. Now we are coming to section 40, sir. Section 40, sir, it is related to our first return, if I am not wrong. That first return to cover the period turnover before granting the registration. Is it like that, sir?
Yes, sir. So my question is, can
Yes.
a casual taxable person make a supply till the registration is granted? And
No.
in the interim period, whatever the supplies he made, can he declare in his return?
Sir, let's go to section 26 again now.
The plain reading
Sir,
answer is no. My question,
yes.
what if there is a delay in sanction of the registration?
Sir, the plain reading makes it very clear that he cannot undertake any transaction unless and until he got a registration. This is my opinion. And I'm open for opinion from others also. But my opinion is that before grant of registration as CTP or NRTP, they cannot have any transaction. Because it is very clear that such person shall make taxable supply only after issuance of certificate of registration.
Right.
Right,
And
sir?
what would be the input tax credit for him, sir?
Sir, that is there. I have mentioned in the
Tax.
definition of CTP that while
Yeah.
making advance tax, he have to make
Yes.
estimate of net tax liability for CTP. He have to make estimated net tax liability after reducing estimate of available ITC. This is as per circular number 71/45. So
Sir,
while filing his
imagine he has
return,
a,
yes,
let's make it in a scenario, sir. He has a regular registration in the state of Delhi,
yes,
and
sir,
he is going to Rajasthan for an occasional exhibition. So he
right,
is carrying his own goods.
yes,
Okay. Now
yes,
he will make an application for registration,
right, sir.
and after the registration is granted, only then he will move the goods, or he will move the goods under the cover of delivery challan and make an application of registration.
Sir, in that practical scenario, in my opinion, he can move the goods on delivery challan, but he cannot sell the goods there unless and until he has got that registration.
But the goods, when he move on delivery challan, where is the input
Yes.
tax credit? Like,
Then there would be there Practically, what we all are doing and the law part, we will be discussing two aspects. Practically, we all are moving goods on challan. We are mentioning it as unregistered person. When if that way he is doing, the ITC will not be available because that unregistered person cannot claim ITC. And in case of CTP, in my opinion, since he cannot have transactions before registration, so the ITC will not be available. But it is better to get the registration and then move the goods.
And
So
what
let's take yes sir,
let's
yes
take
sir,
a
yes
simple scenario, sir. Goods worth 1 lakh rupees, okay, with a
yes sir.
tax of 18,000 rupees is being transferred to Rajasthan. And he makes his sale. Let's say he sold goods worth 60,000 rupees. For he made a profit of, let's say, 80,000 rupees, and on 20,000 he is having a tax liability of 3,600. Cash would generally get generated, right? He would be
Right.
ideally making a advance tax payment of the 3,600, make the registration, utilize the ITC. The balance goods which he is having, he will again sell it back to the original Rajasthan entity
Yes,
and close. That's the normal scenario,
exactly.
right? Now, a question that comes is when the goods are moved, precondition, I just want to get it myself clarified. Precondition registration should be alive. And when the
Yes.
goods are returned back, it would be valued at the original value and not the market value. Anyhow, Rule 28 permits to keep any value and it goes back.
Yes, that valuation rules because both would be covered under same ban and they can have that, right, sir?
Right. So any other different view or
When
So
you
this
there
is
is a circular dated 21st December 2017,
yeah.
wherein they have given a clarification on issues regarding treatment of supply by an artist in various states and supply of goods by artists from galleries.
Hmm.
So, in para number 5 of that circular, they say it is further clarified that in case of supply by an artist through galleries, there is no consideration flowing from gallery to the artist when the artwork are sent to the gallery for exhibition, and therefore the same is not a supply. It is only when the supplier selects a particular artwork displayed at the gallery that the actual supply takes place, and applicable GST would be payable at the time of such supply. So, going through this clarification which has been given in the circular, we can what we can say that when the goods are being moved for the exhibition, even though there might not be a registration at that time, since there is no supply involved, because they are being sent for display on when the customer chooses, only then the supply would take place. Therefore, in such case, the goods can be sent on delivery challan. Once the registration is there and the sale happens, to that extent the supply the invoice can be raised. That is what the circular is seeking to clarify.
So are you saying when the goods move to exhibition, you are okay not even having a casual taxable person? Under the e-way bill, I will opt the exhibition as one of the option reason for delivery challan, move the goods. And if for some reason, if there is a sale happening, you would suggest that we raise an IGST invoice?
Yes, that is what the circular is.
No,
That
no,
is what the
actually,
and
but Arpit ji, ये जो है ना, this circular was specific only for exhibition of artists, because in paintings what happened, I take say painting worth 4 crores to Lalit Kala Academy in Mumbai. I sell only paintings worth 20 lakhs and I bring 3 ko 80 lakh ka painting wapas. So because of the problem that was being faced by all these artists, so this clarification came. It's a specific clarification.
no,
It,
Arupji, like here in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, we have handicraft exporters who are taking
yes,
goods worth
yes,
crores to exhibitions being held at say Delhi at multiple times.
yes. Then that another circular came for handicrafts also in 2018 separately.
See, in para number 3 of that circular, what they have
Ah,
to explain is a combined reading of the above provision indicates that the artwork for supply on approval basis can be moved from
yes,
the place of business of registered person to another place within the same state
yes,
or place
yes.
outside on a delivery challan. It is also clarified that supplies the artwork from one state to another will be interstate supplies. Now, in para 5, in all the above discussions, going through above discussions, what they have clarified, see, this might be a case for circular, might be a case for artists, But then what
Yes, yes.
it is Rule 55. And in Rule 55, there is no specific clause for artwork. It is a general rule applicable. And when they intended to provide specifically, they have given a specific mention at many places like movement of through pipeline and that sort.
Yes.
55.
Sir, in
No,
my opinion,
so, yes, sir.
yes, please, sir.
Yeah,
Arunji,
so, what I was saying about, yeah.
if you can enable me sharing of the
Oh,
screen.
sorry. नहीं, आप तो है host, आप कर सकते हो. You can do it.
I have joined through
If it is
another.
applicable to artists, should be
Oh, that's
applicable
it.
to others also.
One
And
second.
then the purpose of CTP would get deleted.
No.
defeated.
Venuji, what I'm saying is recently in Kerala High Court, She's Jewels, they have dealt with this particular matter only. See, what is happening is if you are sending something on sale on return on approval basis, okay, then that's a different issue altogether because you're sending it to some RTP there. But when I'm sending for an exhibition, I'm not having a destination customer. I'm sending it to an open place wherein I'll be holding the exhibition, I'll be exhibiting the goods, making the supply. So there, in my personal view, till now, what we have done, we've always taken the registration first, and then we have moved the goods because one purpose was this ITC thing, and second purpose is the e-waybill issue will happen because where are you supplying? Because पहले क्या होता था at one point of time, the exhibitors they used to accept that say you are exhibiting through a particular event management company, say ABC Event Management Company. What we used to do, we used to bill it to ABC Event Management, and ABC Event Management would bill it to me again there when I reach the place, and they would bill to my casual taxable person registration. I would make the supply and then I would bring it back. So it was like that. But after 2019, many of the event management companies they had faced some issues with all this modus operandi. So now they've stopped. Now they say कि आप CTP का registration ले लो. CTP registration लेने के बाद ही you start movement of the goods. So that is one thing. But अर्पित जी, I'll first अच्छा I'll just allow. अर्पित जी मैंने उसको कर दिया आपको दूसरे को भी देखिए.
अच्छा. Yes. Just.
Sir, in my opinion, there is no restriction on movement of goods before taking this registration. The only issue is that if we have moved the goods and have issued, then the issue of ITC would be there.
No, sir. Another main question, see, what the Kerala High Court also in the discussion is there. Where are you moving the goods? To whom are you moving the goods? That is the prime thing. Where is the destination? Who is the
Yes.
recipient here?
Yes,
So
now
that is the
that would
main.
be another
That
problem.
is the thing. I have clients who are into fashion. Okay, they sell all these lehengas, what 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, and all. So what they were doing, they are taking all these 50, 60 lehengas to say Mumbai, and then they were displaying it to different people there whose marriages were coming in the next 2 to 3 months. So there the problem is once they are caught, in the through the interception, they have to pay penalty. But the only question is whom are you sending this material to? Because if you're not registered there as a casual taxable person, आप सपोज महाराष्ट्र में लेके गए एक जगह पे आपने रखा, ठीक है, आपने किसी का घर में रखा है, दैट इज ओके, आपने वहां तक का कर दिया ई वे बिल. बट व्हेन यू आर मूविंग इट टू सम अदर लोकेशन फॉर डिस्प्ले, तो उसमें आप क्या करोगे? एवरी टाइम यू हैव टू हैव दैट सेल ऑन रिटर्न ऑन अप्रूवल बेसिस. से यू आर टेकिंग 10 lehengas टू अ प्लेस इन से कांदिवली. तो आपने परेल से जब कांदिवली जा रहे हैं, परेल से हम नवी मुंबई जा रहे हैं, तो आई हैव टू हैव ई वे बिल इन प्लेस बिकॉज द गुड्स आर वर्थ अराउंड 30 lakhs का एक लहंगा है तो 10 का 3 crore मान के चलते हैं. So that is the main problem if we don't move the goods after registration. कि हम लोग कहाँ लेके जाएंगे destination, वो एक problem आ रहा है. But let's go to Arpit ji. Arpit ji wants to share. Arpit ji, what to you?
Yes, I have shared the circular wherein in para 5, see, the background has been discussed here in para 1 that various representations have been received regarding taxation of the supply of the artwork by artists in different states other than the state in which they are registered as a taxable person. In such case, if the artwork is selected by the buyer, then the supplier issues the tax only at the time of supply. It is represented that the artists give their work of art to galleries when there is exhibited supply. There seems to be confusion regarding treatment of the activity, whether it is taxable in the hands of the artist when the same is given to the art gallery or the time of actual supply by the gallery. So what they have given in the background, and then in para 5, they have said it is further clarified that in case of supply by artists through galleries, there is no consideration flowing from the gallery to the artist when the artwork is sent to the gallery for exhibition, and therefore the same is not a supply. It is only when the buyer selects a particular artwork displayed at gallery then the actual supply takes place. So the exhibition, the display can either be on my own account or on account of any other person. Once, see, we cannot take a case wherein that this circular is only applicable when the display is made by some other person. And if I make the display, then I am a casual taxable person which is required to be registered. So what this circular has tried to say that whenever the goods are moved, if the supplier to whom the goods are to be to be sold is not identified, they can be moved on a challan. And once it is identified that the sale would take place, then the registration can be taken and the appropriate tax can be paid. And this is what generally is happening in most of the exhibitions, that the goods are being moved. And although there is no intent to sell, but once they started selling, then they take the registration and pay the taxes.
Arpitji, in this Arpitji Chetan here, in this
Yes.
circular, para 3 talks about it is something which they are thinking on approval basis. Does it have any relevance?
No, approval basis, see, whenever we go into an exhibition, there is always a case wherein the goods only be approved when the goods are displayed. It is if the recipient is already identified, then in such case invoice has to be issued. But if the recipient is not identified, they only would be displayed, and the sender himself does not know that whether at all he would be able to sell it.
No, but in general cases where they say, for example, 2 example we will take. Consider one example is artist who is displaying his arts in the galleries.
Hmm.
That particular mechanism is something different than the handicraft goods exhibited at the exhibition generally happening in number of states.
Hmm.
Would you like to say that this both will be at the same analogy, because the mechanism of the artist and art galleries are much different than the regular exhibitions happening in the number of places?
See, in case of artists, the matter goes one step ahead, because in that case the painting is there in another state, and then it is being sold, and it is not identified that for what time it would be displayed. So another aspect could be that this is a place of visit wherein the painting has been displayed, and the supplier needs to take a fresh registration. That also has been circumvented by this circular. So, in my opinion, what has been commonly done and what has been accepted till now, that whenever the goods are being moved to exhibition, they are being moved on the challan. And once they are selected, if at all they are selected, see, in some of the fairs, what happen is that the supplier knows that when he will take the goods and the exhibition would start, the goods would be sold in the first moment itself, because the inflow of the customer would be such. Then in such case, it's better to take the registration in advance, because you always know that the goods would be supplied. But in cases wherein it is not confirmed that the goods would be supplied, then in such case, benefit of this circular with the principle which has been laid down in the circular, the benefit of that can be taken.
Oh, so you mean to say we have to analyze in this way whether my goods are going to be sold or not.
Yes.
If that some sort of clarity is there, say for example, I am a Mojadi manufacturer in the Rajasthan
Yes.
and taking an exhibition at Mumbai BKC.
Yes.
I'm sure that whatever number of say 500 quantities of Mojadis I am going to put in Mumbai exhibition, anyway 200 is going to be sold. This is what my
Yes.
clarity on first day. In such case, you're suggesting I have to take a registration.
It's
But in
better
case-
because I know that once I would be going there and the sale would be happening, then it's better to be prepared and take a registration well in advance, because the date of the exhibitions are well known well in advance. But in many of the cases, what happens in exhibition, that high value items are taken, but it is not
Yeah.
certain that whether it would be sold or not.
Okay. So only concern about what Piyush sir was saying, that it is ITC issue may arise later on.
Yes,
ITC.
exactly.
Okay, anyway.
That's why I am of the view, but I agreed with Dr. Arpit also. If it is pretty sure that I'm moving my goods only for display only and not for sale, then there is no question of supply and no question of getting registration also.
And
So,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
at all the sale happens
But
at that
if
point
there
of
is
time,
any idea of having sale in future, I'm pretty sure that it might be sold. I'm not sure that it will be sold, but it might be sold. Then if in that case, for the purpose of ITC, if any, like my hotel stay and everything for those ITC, it is better to get the registration.
Pechi, am I audible?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Arpitji, just say as a summation of whatever your discussions are there, what are you suggesting coming back again? Is it an IGST sale, or you just said some little while ago that registration can be taken if sales takes place?
No, no, sir. What I am saying is that if there is a certainty, then we should take the registration of a casual taxable person in that state, and the sale would be only CGST and SGST. It would not be IGST sale. But if there is no certainty that sale would ultimately happen, and I am only taking the good for display purpose, because in most of the exhibitions in high value goods, the sale does not take place at that point of time. In that case, there is no requirement to take the casual taxable
Yeah,
person. The goods can be sold at Chalan.
Yeah, if we take the example what you're suggesting, there was a earlier clarification in the initial days itself that a jeweler taking gold ornaments to a different state for showing to the clients sale may or may not happen. So that is no registration is required. That was a circular in the initial days also, no clarification. So in all those cases, the registration is not required as a casual taxable person. That is what you are saying.
Yes.
So if there is any intent or intention, we can even say to Arupda's example that those lehengas are moving there. They are not sure whether sale will happen or not. So no need to take CTP registration. It can be sale on approval basis, but the movement of goods, that problems he is highlighting that within that state, the movement of goods, how that will happen. It will happen through the same challan each and every time, or how it will happen. But what you are suggesting is that better not to take a CTP registration, because estimated sales, how much you can estimate and pay a tax in advance and ITC, etc. All those issues arise. And basic primary thing is also we're not sure whether sale will happen. Then we shouldn't be taking that
Yes.
registration. IGST supply. Okay, sir.
And then
Yes.
there are certain cases also where in these exhibitions, people just make, they don't actually sell the goods. They just get the orders and then they come back to their hometown, and then from there they make IGST sale.
Yes,
For
that is
that
another
purpose
model.
also,
Yes, that is also another model which is being working now. That is also
yes,
there. I just display it. I take the bookings. I come back to my home state and then make the supply.
yes,
But
that's another way.
उसमें भी क्या है, then we have to make the supply to the place where I'm doing the exhibition, and they have to be willing to give me their details. Say
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sending it at
if
Pragati
that
Maidan.
place of exhibition persons are ready, the
Yeah,
event
then only.
organizers are ready to accept, only then
Yeah,
we can
then only
move the
it's
goods
possible.
on the basis of delivery challan. That
Yes.
issue is always there.
Yes. Because these are the two practical challenges that we are facing. After 2019, many people of these exhibition people, they don't want to share their details, their GST number or anything to send these goods. Only printing material, advertising material they will take. Other than that, any other material they don't. That is one problem. Another problem which I shared is about but जब वहाँ पे जाके you are again sharing the goods, not at one point, at multiple point, then interception जब हो रहा है of the vehicles, that is becoming again another big problem. So for that we
Exactly.
and उसमें क्या है कि regarding the advance tax also, no, when we are doing the computation, we are also showing the ITC that will be available to me. So ultimately, advance tax will be on the net margin that I'm proposing to make
Net
in that
margin.
particular state. Yeah.
I'm again sharing my.
Yeah. Now I think we'll have to move
This
forward.
approach is applicable.
Yeah.
Piyushji, if we can deliberate a bit on the definition of casual taxable person, because
Yes,
this
sir.
is one definition which has lots of confusion and no clarity that who falls within the scope of casual taxable person.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I will definitely
Because
let me.
rest of the other part is more procedural, but this definition itself is more analytical, and there would be different views, and it would be an interesting discussion on the scope of casual taxable person.
Let's sir have an illustration. My screen is visible now.
It's coming till the time screen is coming. Sujata ma'am, you wanted to share something?
Yeah. See, if
Yeah.
this approach is followed, like where every taxable person says that he's going to the place for only display purpose and he will just book the order. Later on, he will be, dispatching it from his original place of business. Then this provision itself will not be applicable, no? So how does the department enforce that this provision is followed and they collect the taxes upfront?
No, in that case, what we are doing,
Is my screen visible, sir?
yeah, now it's visible. Yeah.
Yes.
So in
Visible,
that case,
visible.
Vedha ma'am, what we are doing is we are sending the goods to Challan to the place of exhibition under sale on return or approval. And when we are getting it back, we are getting it back under the same Challan only, delivery Challan. And then we get the things here and then we make the supply from here. So there is no issue in that. In the movement also, we don't face any issue in that also.
Now, if this provision is working smoothly, then no taxpayer, nobody will opt for cash.
No. The challenge
No.
is, see, you have taken saris, valued saris to place for exhibition. Now the person in front of you is not going to wait for 10 days when you come back to your home state and then make the supply. She wants the sari there and there. So, like in our case, we have clients who are selling expensive shoes. Okay. So they need that. They need the shoes there and there. They'll not wait for 10, 15 days for you to make the supply. So those are the places where CTP is important. And apart from that, I think over to Piyush for the discussion again.
Roopji, can I add something? Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Roopji, you told us कि delivery churn में exhibition के लिए चला गया माल, okay?
हाँ.
वो जम्मू से दिल्ली चला गया exhibition में, delivery churn पे, and then you are saying that उसी delivery churn में वापस आएगा माल, same या वहाँ से नया delivery churn काटना पड़ेगा ना वहाँ से दोबारा से?
नहीं नया delivery, same मतलब I said same modus, same mode में और एक delivery चलान करके we are bringing it back. Not the same delivery challan.
E-way bill again, e-way bill तो होगा
again.
Sir, that has to be generated again.
Delivery चलान नया नहीं बनेगा दिल्ली से जम्मू का.
हाँ नया बनेगा
Exactly नया बनेगा sir. It will be new delivery challan, not same delivery challan.
Then sir, जो exhibition का address है, it will be for exhibition. उसमें self लिखा जाएगा, अपने लिए जा रहा है, उसका address देके and from that place वापस आएगा. यही होगा ना sir?
Yes, यही करते हम लोग.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take an illustration that will in those illustrations we will be discussing this definition part also. I am reading the definition once again because it is said that let's deliberate on the definition part. Casual taxable person means a person. I'm again saying it is not mentioned taxable person or registered person. It's a person who occasionally undertakes transaction. Then this occasionally word is also very important. Because if it is a regular feature, then the person has to got regular registration and not this CTP registration. Involving supply of goods or services or both. If the element of supply is there, now in all our discussions, we were discussing that we are delivering the goods without supply because supply would be at another end. So the supply part is also to be considered in the course or furtherance of business. Now this part of business element is very important, that there should be element of business, whether as principal, agent or in any other capacity in a state or union territory where he has no fixed place of business. The two states part, because I am having business in my one state and I am going to another state where I have no fixed place of business. Let's move to illustration, sir. Let's discuss this. Now I am taking the part of service part element is there mainly. A CBSE affiliated boarding school up to 10+2 in Punjab is going to EduFest in Delhi for 5 days and wish to register student there for next session. They will sell prospectus also there. It is expected that they will register around 25 students there with full fees, including food and hostel charges, and sell additional 100 prospectus there. CTP registration required or not? My first question, sir. Let's discuss on this. It is a school up to 10+2 going to EduFest, and they will be registering students there. They will be selling their prospectus also. All food and hostel charges they will recover on the spot. Do they require CTP registration?
They should require a regular registration, no? If they are going to take up a regular thing, they have hostel and everything.
So no, sir, they are going only for 5 days to Delhi. They are basically from Punjab. They are going to Education
Registered in
Fest.
Punjab already, sir.
So only 5 days, so they are doing a summer camp type 5-day event.
No, sir. It's not summer camp. It's just like an exhibition. Schools exhibition, we can say, where schools are displaying that we are providing this service, that we are providing this much education level, and we are having these facilities. And the parents are coming there and they are getting their their wards registered for the school in Punjab. Now the
Okay.
EduFest is in Delhi.
Okay. So it is basically they will be providing the service in Delhi, but the 5 days they will only do enrollment of students.
Yes.
Services would be provided from Delhi.
Services would be
Sir,
provided in
in
Punjab
Punjab.
only. The student will
Punjab.
be taking admission in Punjab school.
Yes.
Okay.
In my view, the registration is required.
Why
Sir,
would they require any registration then?
That's what
sir,
my
one
question
thing-
is. Whether any registration is required or not, because they would be enrolling student there, they would be collecting funds, and they
Yeah,
will be
not required.
selling prospectus also.
Okay, so Piyush ji will first go to Arpit Jain ji. Arpit Jain ji, then we'll go to Annapurna ma'am. Arpit Jain ji, over to you first.
Yeah, is in my view, registration would be required because they are doing this activity which is in the course or furtherance of business.
Okay. Annapurna ma'am, your view?
I have a different view because it is 10+2. So can't we say that they are in the course of education services, which is exempted from GST? So can we look that as
Ma'am, for the sake of design, treat it as taxable service.
No. That's why he said about sale of prospectus and all those things. He's trying to.
Yeah, prospectus
Yeah,
is
I'm
also
assuming.
important part of that, no?
Yeah.
See, basically, principal supply here is education. To render
Mhm.
that, they are trying to sell that prospectus to give the information about the school. And specifically, they have written the 10+2 in Punjab. So
Okay, so what Arvind ji
Yeah.
is suggesting, for a moment, let us assume, like
Okay,
section
okay, let us
2,
presume that it is
deeming.
normal.
Yeah, it is
Deeming.
normal. Then what? So deeming that in prospectus is taxable, then what will happen? Then what would be your view?
Yeah, if it is a trading, if it is a taxable service, then yes, I agree that it is required. Otherwise, basically, the service itself is not. But if you read the casual taxable person, they have not used the word as taxable supply. They have used the word as supply. So I think that is one more aspect which we have to look at.
Okay, okay.
Sir, if may.
Yeah,
Sir, in
Deepak
my
ji, yeah.
view, it
Yes,
is not
yes,
required.
please.
Yeah, Deepak ji. Sorry, Deep ji.
Sir, we
Yeah.
can divide this transaction in two parts. We need to see the place of supply with respect to which services, which taxable services the school is going to provide. As far as education is concerned, all such place of supply belongs to the Punjab. All such students which are being enrolled at Delhi will be transferred to Punjab and they will provide the education, assuming the taxable education service in the Punjab. So as far as this part, no registration is required. The place of supply is in Punjab. The supplier is also situated in Punjab. As far as if they are carrying any goods, say a prospectus or a school kit or a books along with them, and they are selling over the counter over there, for that part, if I'm assuming these things, if they are carrying any such goods over there
Taxable.
for the taxable goods, definitely taxable goods. In such case, they are carrying the taxable goods and supplying over there in Delhi, and even that वो छोटे से लिए वहां पे रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा. But as far as school services are concerned, the registration CTP registration.
Sir,
Thank you, Deep ji. I think, yeah. Piyush ji, before we go to you, we'll go to Soumya ma'am, then we'll come to you.
yes,
Soumya ma'am.
please, ma'am.
Soumya ma'am.
Sir, so, I mean,
Yeah.
basically this prospectus and everything is related to education services which are happening in Punjab. And therefore, in my view, there is no requirement of any casual taxable person. It will be an IGST invoice which they have to issue.
Okay. So I think Piyush ji, sum and substance is what Deep ji has shared, the two leg of transaction. So I think that is what the house is saying. So now we can go to you for your final views.
Sir, my final view, before my final view, there are two more questions.
Yes.
What if this event is held annually and the school team attended every year as a regular feature? Let's leave this part. Let's move to second part. Will it make any difference if instead of boarding school, it is a commercial coaching institute? Now we are discussing on two aspects, whether education is taxable supply or not taxable supply. Now I am making it another part. Let's forget it is an educational school. It's a commercial coaching institute. Then there is no dispute. Then we are all clear that if it is a commercial coaching institute, we need to have a CTP registration. Agreed with that?
No, Piyush ji.
If may I.
Yes,
Piyush
yes,
ji,
yes. That yes, sir. Please.
what Arup ji has said
Yes,
and what Deep has said that
sir.
yes.
Deep ji, will then go to
As far as
Arvind.
sir,
Yeah.
let's reframe. What sir is thinking is commercial coaching institute is going to just take one advertising session for 5 days, advertising event in Delhi. If they are not going to provide any, there are two type of coaching institute, right? If we see the Drishti IAS or Naukar Institute, all they are doing, they are transporting faculty for 1 month to another state, conducting coaching over there, and returning back that faculty to home state after 1 month or so. In such cases, registration is required. But if we reframe the question that they are just going there for advertising event, they are just doing the advertising event, people are coming, they are showing off what we are providing in our Punjab Institute. They are not delivering the teaching services in the Delhi, nor they are going to, if it's just an advertising event, then in such case, no registration is required in Delhi.
What
Sir,
Deep
but they will
is
be selling
suggesting
their
is that
prospectus also, and it is a taxable activity.
the answer to this
Sir,
query would lie in identifying the supply.
Deep sir was saying something.
I think Deep sir is
already,
yeah.
Sir, I already stated this transaction in two parts. We are currently discussing the service part only. As far as goods is concerned, if goods are moved and delivered at that place, it's a plain and clear transaction. CTP will be required as far as goods is concerned.
Okay. So over to Arpit ji, then we'll go to Gurjit sir. Arpit ji, over to you.
I agree with what Deep has said, that since the commercial coaching institute services, these are only advertising services for 5 days, so no registration for CTP. And since the services would be provided in Punjab, so as also the dealer would be registered in Punjab, so tax would be paid there. And if any goods are being taken for sale, suppose the brochures are taxable and amount is being collected, then in such case CTP registration would be required.
Right, sir.
Okay, Gurjit sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. I was just saying that the answer to this query, the key is identifying what supply is happening. So if we identify the supply to be education services to be provided from Punjab, whether it is 10+2 or a coaching institution, or we identify the supply as a supply of goods, that is what Deep sir and Arpit has just concluded into. So the key lies in identifying what service is being provided. What is the supply, whether it is goods or services, and what service. So if we identify the supply, then the answer becomes easier.
Thank you, sir. So over to Piyush ji for your final verdict.
Sir, I'm nobody to give any final verdict. It's just a discussion session.
No, I mean your final.
In my opinion, I'm just giving my opinion. If it is a CBSE affiliated boarding school only, and we are providing no service there, agreed that we are going there for advertisement, and we are collecting funds also, and we are selling prospectus. In my opinion, it is all related to education part. Even selling prospectus is related to education part. And in this case, in my humble opinion, CTP is not required. But if it is a commercial coaching institute, and again, if they are only enrolling students there and not selling prospectus, then CTP is not required. But if they are selling their prospectus, then it is just like we are selling something there, then CTP is required. This is my humble opinion, sir.
Great, sir. Let's move ahead then after this.
Just to add, assuming this, like, this IIT coaching centers where they go to the other places and even conduct some admission fee for propagating their coaching center and about their faculties and other stuff. If that being the case, what will happen? Along with the prospectors, they enroll as well as there is an admission fees also involved.
Yes, that's mentioned in here that they are getting full fees, including food and hostel also. It is a similar scenario. Let's take an example of goods we have discussed earlier, that we are going to an exhibition and we are just making registrations there. We are getting orders there and getting advance money, and then we are going back to our home state and supplying goods from there. In this case, we are not selling anything. We are supplying goods from our home state. Here again, we will be providing service from our home state only. We will be collecting, we will be making registrations, we will be getting advance money there for this coaching institute. But again, the student will be coming to our hometown, our home state, and will be providing service there at our hometown. If we are sending teachers to the another state for conducting sessions and we are collecting money for those sessions from those other states, then CTP is required in that other state. This is my humble opinion.
Sir, one doubt. Can we extend this to an international school or a university who comes to India and tries to market using some educational fare? Will the same thing be applicable? But there, the question of registration, I mean, UGC registration, all these things will not be there, no? Because it's a foreign university or whatever. In which
So
case,
for
what will
foreign
be?
for foreign institutes, we will be moving to further NRTP.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Just to add one thing, that whether a casual taxable person registration is required in case the goods are exempted. So whether if I am doing a business for say 5 days or 10 days in another state, but the goods are exempted, am I still required to register as a CTP and file a nil return?
Sir, in my humble opinion, since it is an exempted supply and Section 23 empower us that for exempted supply, we need not any GST registration for exempted related.
Exclusively selling, yeah, exclusively.
Okay.
Pardon, sir?
Yeah, right.
Exclusively dealing in exempted goods, then this registration is not required.
Okay, right.
Sir, even it says casual taxable person. It doesn't say casual person. So I think even we can brought out that analogy also for this. Though the definition doesn't use the supply of taxable goods or service, but the majorly the definition itself says casual taxable person. So if you read the taxable person, the one who is registered under 22 or 24, so we can apply. Can we apply that analogy also and say that it is applicable only for taxable goods or services and not for exempted goods or services? I think we can try to apply that way also. Sir.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. And that's what my opinion is based on. Because for that purpose, I am only saying that if we are dealing in exempted goods, we need not to get CTP.
Yes, sir.
And now move to the first part, sir. What if this event is held annually? Because we have to discuss the definition part step by step. What if this event is held annually and the school team visit every year as a regular feature? Will they go for, now take the case of coaching institute and they are selling prospectus there and they are going there regularly every year. Will they go for CTP or regular registration?
Sir, if they don't have any permanent place of business in Delhi,
yes,
then in such cases, CTP will be always comes into play if they are supplying any goods in Delhi. Even if they are going to the same place every year, even if they are renting the same hotel in every same auditorium or hotel in each year, they need to go for CTP if they are supplying goods in Delhi.
Right, sir. Very, very, very right. Because yes, please.
I want to add one more thing is, see, as far as GST is concerned, the one question was raised is if foreign universities coming to India to host the advertising event and to take the fees. My humble opinion is, in GST, we deal with the place of business of the supplier vis-a-vis the place of supply. The place of business of supply in this case will be Punjab. The place of supply will also be Punjab. In case of foreign university, say if any university of UK coming to India. In such cases, their place of supply will be in UK, and the permanent place of business, so the location of supplier of the business will also located in UK. So technically, if they are coming to India, hosting such advertising event, in my opinion, even the CTP or any other registration would not be required unless and until they are also collecting some event fee or other things which are being for the event conducted in India. If they are conducting in event India for free and they are just collecting fee for their education purpose in UK or US, in such cases, even the registration will not be recorded in India. The पैसा कहाँ से ले रहे हो मैटर नहीं है जीएसटी में. The location of supply or service matter करता है, place of supply matter करता है. The such transaction will be outside the jurisdiction of India. The act itself will not permit to collect the tax on such transaction.
Sir, for this foreign university, we will discuss when we will be on NRTP, because I have a few case studies there, similar case studies. That's why I'm not taking it right now. Shall we
Sure.
move further on CTP, sir?
Sure.
Yes.
Another case study. Mr. X, a salaried employee from Jammu, visited Jaipur in Rajasthan for vacations with family. His friend Mr. Y was staying at Kota. Mr. Y asked his friend Mr. X to bring Jaipuri bed sheets from Jaipur. Mr. X purchased bed sheets for 1 lakh, and when he reached Kota, he sold these bed sheets to Mr. Y for 1,20,000. Now he is a salaried employee. He is not a businessman. He is not having a registration in his hometown. Nothing like that. Now he is doing this transaction. Will it be covered under CTP or not? My question, sir.
No, sir.
No. Any other? Okay, let's move further. In chat, something is there.
The house is on no.
He's having a business in his hometown. He's not having business there. Now move further again. What if Mr. X sold his bed sheets in Jammu? He has purchased from Jaipur and sold back in Jammu, from where he belongs. Again, it is not required, right? And then moving further, will it be making any difference if instead of 1 lakh, he has purchased bed sheet for 40 lakh and sold for 45 lakh? In Rajasthan only. Considering that threshold limit of 40 lakh.
Yes.
Now, is there any registration required? He is a salaried employee.
Mhm.
He has purchased, he is from Jammu, he has gone to Jaipur, and he has purchased bedsheet for 40 lakh and now selling it for 45 lakh. In Jaipur only.
Yes. So because business does not consider the fact that whether you're making it for profit or not, so it will be coming under the definition of business. And it also
So
does
it will
not
be,
say whether you're doing it once or twice or how many times. So that's it will come into the definition of business.
now
And in
in
my
this
view,
particular
yeah,
case, in my opinion, he had to take a regular registration, not as a
yes.
CTP, sir.
Okay, but why regular?
Sir, he is having a transaction for 40 lakhs. He's crossing his, for CTP, he is not eligible because he is not having any business in his hometown. He's a salaried employee. Now he's making a one-time business. Even a trade or commerce or adventure is a business. So it is covered under
Yes.
the definition of furtherance of business. And since threshold limit of 40 lakh is crossing, so in my, though it is not a condition for CTP that there should be any threshold or anything, but because he's not, in my opinion, because he's not having any business in his hometown, so therefore he should go for regular registration. This is my opinion.
Yes, that's what Soumya ma'am has also shared, that regular registration only.
Piyush ji,
Yes,
I just have a different thought process here. He
yes,
being
please.
an employee, see, just
Hmm.
like this. I'm a salaried employee, my friend is asking for something. She may be doing her business. When I'm supplying to her as a friendly basis,
Hmm.
when I don't have any intention of doing business. So
But
will
I'm making
when
profit out of it.
no profit is a different profit is not a criteria for registration. No?
No, agreed,
I-
agreed, agreed.
I don't have a business intention. She is telling me, okay, buy for 10 rupees. Then we are saying, okay, not required. When the 10 rupees becomes 10 lakhs, the intention is the same.
No, but by business definition will include. No, that is the problem.
I'm
Business
saying
definition.
business intention.
No, the definition of business has told now whether for profit or not, that doesn't matter. So that is the main hitch here. If we go to the
Exactly.
definition of business, so that is becoming a problem here.
It
I'm
is
saying
falling
it
within
will
the
not
balance.
even come under trade, commerce, manufacture, nothing it will come under.
No, or any other similar activity, whether or not it is for a pecuniary benefit.
Correct. There is no pecuniary benefit.
No, ma'am,
No, that, yeah.
Ruchi,
Yeah.
for me, the definition of casual taxable person provides that in the course or furtherance of
Furtherance
business.
of business is very clearly stated there. So you cannot take that stand for this. Because the
Hello.
quantum is more. That's my view.
अच्छा अर्पित जी your view क्या आप क्या बोल रहे थे?
Casual taxable person has two important conditions, that it should be in the course of furtherance of business and the person should not have a fixed place of business in that state. So when we go through the definition of business, it not only says trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, but it also includes adventure.
Adventure,
Now,
voice,
adventure
everything.
can
Yes.
be for a single transaction also, when
Yes.
I am ready to risk my funds for more, for a profit which is more than the normal profit. Then it becomes an adventure even if it is a single transaction.
Exactly.
Right.
Because supposedly I am, see, what is my basic thinking is, when I am keeping the funds in my saving account, it is not an adventure, because this is the basic minimum rate which the government is giving. But when I give a loan, even if a single transaction, supposedly I give a loan of 50 lakh rupees to a person who is giving me a rate of interest of 13%, which is more than the normal rate of interest, then I am involving myself into an adventure, because I am risking my funds for a higher benefit. So by way of adventure, it will fall within the scope of business. So if I am risking my funds, say it is whether it is a 1 lakh or a
40 lakhs.
20 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh, amount is irrelevant, because there is no threshold limit for a registration of a casual. See, it's a altogether different thing that how the government will come to know. We are not going on to that aspect. Okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
We are going in with that. I have purchased goods worth rupees 1 lakh and I have sold it to 1,20,000. See, my intent was to have a return which is not a normal return, more than a regular return. So in my opinion, it is still a business. And secondly, since I am residing at Jammu and at Rajasthan, I don't have a fixed place of business. So even if my turnover crosses 40 lakh rupees, still in my opinion, it would be a casual taxable person, because the condition of casual taxable person does not provide that I should have a pre-existing business in my home state. The only condition is that in the state in which I am making the supply, I should not have a fixed place of business. So fixed place, by the condition of fixed place of business, it does not mean that there should be a pre-existing place of business at my residence. The condition can be I am residing there, having no business, and I go to some other state, have a occasional business, and then come back to it. So in my opinion, even if it is a 1 lakh, 40 lakh, 1 crore, still a casual taxable person, because I am into course or furtherance of business with no first place of business in the other state.
Thank you, Arpit ji. Thank you. And Piyush ji, though we have discussed very seriously about casual taxable person, but now we have to bring this wonderful session to a close because it's 10:05. And हम इसको आगे कैसे बढ़ाएंगे? That I'll discuss with you. I'll take your dates and then maybe we'll plan the next session for NRTP and the amendment. That we will do. We'll have to cover that part. So I'll take your
Thank
time
you,
and
sir.
then
Sure,
plan
sir.
it.
Sure, sir.
But since, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a request to Piyush ji, and if he will be sharing his thoughts with us again. So,
Yes, sir.
Piyush ji, if you can, regarding section 26, we discussed about registration in CGST plus SGST. If you can put your thoughts into what about deemed registration under IGST and CES Act also. Is
Okay, sir.
registration, this section 26 will cover that also, or not? Just if you are having a session again with us, please,
Sure, sir. Sure.
that would
Sure,
also
sure.
help us to expand our thoughts on that, please.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, okay. So, Gurjit sir, I request you to do one favor to us today, giving the vote of thanks to Piyush ji.
So I was just trying to avoid vote of thanks by putting in the words like that. So that's some other esteem. So thank you, Piyush ji, for all these efforts you have made into this. You've been carrying on the tradition of our SMS that the sections may seem very innocuous and simple, but it is a tradition we have established here, and you have kept the flag flying high. That even simple terms and each definition, each sentence or words of that definition may have some implications in some business situation. So thanks to you for provoking so many thoughts, and you have also kept the tradition that we always think that this much we will cover in one day, but due to the discussions and thoughts which we venture into, all of us, we always end up having an extended session. So looking forward to see you again if Arupta allows. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being with us today.
Thank you, Gurjit sir. Thank you, Piyush ji. And Arpit ji, your
Thank you,
final
sir.
words
Thank
before
you.
we. Thank you, Piyush ji. Thank you so much. And Arpit ji, your final words before we close.
Thank you, Rumji. And as Gurji ji has said that we have kept on our tradition that we will not leave the speaker in one session. We will ask him again to come back. मैं वापस आऊंगा एक वादे के लिए, एक वादा तोड़ के. And as we have said that very good case studies were prepared and we had a detailed discussion, and section 26, which we thought that it's a very simple section, Gurji ji had a bouncer in the end for the speakers for the next session, so that to discuss about the implication of section 26 on IGST and CES also. And
Yes.
Going forward in section 26, I think we should also include that how CGST Act, although it is for the entire nation, but it is applicable on a state-wise basis. So because that is also relevant for discussion of CGST credit in one state being eligible in the next state, it would be a discussion which we can take in the next session. And thank you to the speaker for this enlightening session, and seeking you in the next session as and when the dates are available with you for completing today's session. Thank you very much, Piyush.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And have a wonderful weekend ahead. Looking forward to meeting all of you in the next Saturday, the next SMS. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.